What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at pre-sale prices for Into the Inklands. Now, I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, we are not going to be looking, we're going to be looking at the most expensive pre-sale cards for Into the Inklands. That's the whole point of this video. Two massive caveats before we get going, and these are very important. Caveat number one, we're not looking at enchanted cards. And I revealed the Chernobog, right? I love that Chernobog. That is my card that I am desperate, and I mean desperate, to pull from this set. It's my chase card. It's the one I revealed, right? But the prices are so all over the place for that. And pull rates are... There's no point trying to look at that now. We cannot really look at pre-sale prices for enchanted cards. They're so all over the place. I did have a quick look. I promise you, it is not worth it. The other massive caveat here is the prices are all massively off. They're pre-sale prices. They're massively inflated, right? So I still think this is fun to look at, and I think it's interesting and important. But what we're looking at here is the order of the cards. The card which is number one on this list, I feel very confident, is going to be the number one card you want to pull outside of enchanted cards from this set. But the prices are all over the place because they're pre-sale prices. So, we're not looking at enchanted, very deliberately so. And the order is important. This should tell you which cards you want to pull. This should give you a good idea of which cards you want to pull. However, do not take this as a price guide. I'm going to give you the prices for comparison's sake. Please don't take this as a price guide. We know that prices are going to crash. We know that. Good. Good. So coming in at number 10, we've got ourselves Maleficent. Specifically, Maleficent, Mistress of All Evil. And I know I didn't do the reveal for this. I did help out Tabletop Gaming when they had their reveal of the Enchanted. So this is still a card which is near and dear to my heart, which is lovely. And what we've got with Maleficent here is a very, very nice card. You quest for 2, but when you quest, you may draw a card. And whenever you draw a card during your turn, you can move a damage counter from a character to an opposing character. Very important to note that it's not just when you draw a card using Maleficent, it's whenever you draw a card in any way, shape or form, which is kind of ridiculous. Draw power, moving damage, all very good. In at number 9, we've got Lucky Dime. Now, all of these are legendary cards. I've had a look, there's no super rare that are getting up onto this list, not right now. And Lucky Dime makes me very, very happy. Just as a Disney fan, it's a cool card. But we've got number 1, you exert it, you pay 2, and you choose a character of yours and gain lore equal to the lore they get when they quest. So if you find a character that can quest for 3 or 4, and there are some out there, all of a sudden you pay 2 to get 3 or 4 lore. Like, we all know at that stage that's a very efficient way of getting lore. This is great. In at number 8, we've got Kaida, or Kaida. I'm not sure on the pronunciation of this one, I'm going to be honest with you. But it's a very cool card. It is got shift free, so it's a 5-cost inkable, but you can shift it for 1, 2, 3. And when you play this character, all characters get -3 strength until the start of your next turn. That's the rest of your turn and your opponent's turn. So obviously this is going to hurt your characters as well, boo, hiss, etc. But it's also going to hurt your opponents. Time it at a time, it's going to hurt them more. In at number 7, we've got Jim Hawkins. And any of you that have been waiting for Treasure Planet to get going, wonderful news! Again, it's a 5-cost inkable. You get 2 lore when you quest. But when you play this character, you may play a location with a cost of 4 or less for free. Anyone want to guess how many locations in the game cost more than 4? None. Fang River City is the most expensive, along with RLS Legacy and McDuck Manor. They are the 4-cost. Everything is free here. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Hang on a second, Wassy. If it's making 4-cost or less free, and everything is 4 cost or less, why don't they just make it completely free? It's future-proofing. Because if they said everything is free, any location is free, sooner or later something is going to get released, which is kind of like a 7 cost location or something like that. It's going to happen at some point in the future, and this character is going to end up unintentionally broken. Hence why they go there. In at number 6, currently selling for about $40, but again, I'm putting the prices up, take the prices with a massive pinch of salt. We've got Hydra. And Hydra is another very cool card. What we've got here is a card that quests for 2, which is alright. But whenever this character is dealt damage, and you've got a willpower of 5, deal that much damage to chosen opposing character. So basically you sit there and your opponent's got to sacrifice one of their characters to take you out, maybe multiple. But if they don't, you're sitting there questing for 2. That sounds like an awful lot of fun. In at number 5, we've got Gatala, which is currently coming in about $45. They're all starting to bunch up. This is honestly to be expected of pre-sale prices. And as somebody who loves Moana, the best Disney films are Moana, Zootropolis, Wreck-It Ralph. I will not be moved on this. Yes, they're all more recent 3D animated films. Don't care. They're my favourites. This makes me happy. We got a 7 cost inkable, which is expensive, but you do have shift 5. You quest for 2. Oh yeah, and whenever a card is put into your inkwell, you gain 1 lore. That's absurd. Absolutely absurd. Because we've got cards that will put cards into your inkwell. And if you're playing stuff like that, it's not going to take too long for this to build up. Like, think about Belle, who during your turn you can put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell face down. So if you're already playing a deck that builds up your inkwell, firstly, all of your cards get cheaper. Yay! But secondly, now every time you put a card into your inkwell, you gain a lore. Yeah, this is going to be, like a lot of the ones on this list, this is going to be a card that the second it hits the field, your opponent has to get rid of it. In at number 4, we got Robin of Sherwood. Now, this is coming in at $50. The next 3 are all coming in at $50. I've had a look around. This nominally seems to be the cheaper among them, but it's very, very close. I went to a birthday party as a child where we went to see Robin Hood in the cinema and then went to Burger King where we got fast food and got Robin Hood toys. It was brilliant. That's what I think about when I look at this card. Also, my kids watch Robin Hood and they love it. 5 cost inkable, shift 3, quest for 2. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, gain 2 lore. Yeah, that's pretty good. Because you banish them, and then they don't have the character to play with, and then you get a bunch of lore. That's fantastic. And when this character is banished in a challenge, you may draw a card. So, no questing here. None of that garbage, right? Because you can quest for 2 lore, or you can challenge and banish a character for 2 lore. That's fine. And then when you finally go down, you get to draw a card. It's a nice consolation prize. In at number 3, we got Milo Thatch, and this is another one that's coming in at $50, but again, pinch of salt on the price. And also, these are so close together that, numbers kind of 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5, they could well get mixed up as we go, but they're still among the cards you really want to be pulling from packs when you open them on Friday. You get free lore when you quest here, which is brilliant. It's a 7 cost non-inkable, but you do have shift 4. And when this character is banished, return all opposing characters to their player's hands. You can see why this one is popular. Because you quest for free, right? That's a lot. So your opponent kind of has to get rid of this card. They have to try and banish this card, because if they don't, it's ridiculous at questing. But then if they do, they lose all their characters, and it goes to the hand, right? But you've then got to have the ink ready to replay those characters, which is obviously super awkward, and that's where we look and go, oh, yeah, no, this is actually really very, very good. We understand why this is good. Incidentally, these top 3 are all redonkulous cards. Because in at number 2, we've got Ursula, Deceiver of All. Nice little character, 3 cost inkable, 2 straight, 3 willpower, quest for 1. The stats aren't big here, right? But whenever this character sings a song, you may play that song again from your discard for free and then put it back at the bottom of your deck. So basically, now it only works on free cost songs or lower, which is obviously deliberate, right? I'm not going to go into it. We don't have a lot of time to go into it, but go and have a look, because there are songs that this would be absolutely broken with. So obviously it's got to be a low cost character, because then it's really making sure that you're not singing for loads. It's limiting you to free cost songs, and that is very, 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 very important. You know, even something like How Far I'll Go is one of the new cards from the set. It's a nice excuse to talk about it. Wonderful artwork. Love Moana, as I've said. And if Ursula can sing this, then you look at the top 2 cards of your deck. One goes to your hand, one goes to your Inkwell. And then you do it again, and all of a sudden you've drawn 2 cards. You put 2 cards into your Inkwell for no cost, just for resting Ursula. And there are some other examples I'm sure you can all come up with which are ridiculous. Ursula has to be a free cost, or else it would be broken. But obviously number 1's Jafar. Like, Jafar's pre-selling at like $60, where the other 3 are pre-selling at about $50. Which should basically tell you everything you need to know. Jafar looks to be the best card in the set, the most hyped card in the set, and the early deck lists I'm seeing being thrown around on social media are telling me that, yeah, people are hyped about Jafar. 7 cost inkable, but with shift 5. And it's got evasive, which is alright. Keeps you alive more, which is very important, because during your turn, while this character is exerted, whenever you draw a card, you gain 1 lore. And think about how busted that can be with, let's say, another Aladdin card. Let's go for a whole new world. Each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. So if you've got Jafar out, and somebody sings a whole new world, you gain 7 lore. Now imagine what happens if you got 2 Jafar out. Oh, actually, as a side note, remember how Jafar's a 5 cost character? Okay, fine, 7 cost. You know what I mean? More than 5. Jafar can sing this song, and then it's exerted, and then you draw 7 cards, and you get 7 lore. That's absurd. There is a reason this is the most hyped card in the set. There is a reason this is the most expensive card in the set. And as a side note, when we look at enchanted cards, and we will look at the enchanted cards, we just need to get a bit more data on them to be sure. When we get there, expect Jafar to be the number 1 enchanted card in the set, because, oh my word, this is busted. Right, there we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these cards. Tell me which of these are your favourites. Tell me which of these you want to pull when you open up some Lorcana on Friday. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Lorcana and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.